Alright, welcome back to another Axis and Allies 1942 online video. This will be a special YouTuber versus YouTuber match against Cobra2177. Cobra recently has been playing a lot of West Russia Jam games on his channel, and he mentioned he was interested in seeing how this tactic or philosophy of the West Russia Jam can stand up to a platinum level player. So I offered a friendly match. Here I'll be showcasing a pretty wild and interesting counter to the West Russia Jam. It may not be the most optimal way to counter, but it's definitely a pretty fun one. I do often enjoy encountering West Russia Jams, and this is normally my go-to buy. Let's get on with this game. Alright, here we are. Cobra as the Allies and myself as the Axis here. So yes, 8 infantry for the Russians. West Russia jammed and lost 1 infantry, which I think is 1 above average for the jam. So that's a pretty good result there. There's super unlikely I'm going to be hitting that round 1. I see no point in doing so. So my counter that I love to go for when I see a West Russia jam is a 4 fighter buy. I'm pretty sure I have showcased this once on this channel before, and ever since then I've refined it a little bit, and it is my go-to against the jam. It's really fun to play as Germany with a whopping 11 aircraft from round 1 onward. Right, it is pretty insane. So yeah, here we are. Yeah, so the standard here will be to take Karelia. I like to take the infantry tank and drop it into Caucasus. It is at utmost importance that the UK fails to retake Caucasus for the Russians. So yeah, I like to send the infantry tank from Africa to the Caucasus because I want all of my German units in Europe to push forward against Russia. Since I've gone for this buy, I have no infantry coming from the German heartland to push forward. So every unit on Europe right now is at a premium because there's no reinforcements coming. So I like to do this. The infantry tank it's a very shaky, dicey battle for UK. UK has to send infantry, this fighter, and this fighter, and that bomber, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If it's free, to attack Caucasus and flip it. It often requires the UK to sack a plane for it, and it's worth UK sacking a plane because I'm going to be stacking grain here with everything Germany has. Because I'm going to go for a G2 and J2 stack of Caucasus. If I can achieve that, the game is very Axis favored. So we'll see if Cobra can identify what I'm going for here and denies it. Best way to deny it is to flip Caucasus and then Russia stacks Caucasus themselves. Or they could go for the riskier option and just buy mass artillery Russia 2 and take the battle that I'm offering, which, assuming average dice, is just above a 50-50 for the Axis to hold. So we'll see if he goes for that option as well. The idea behind this buy is mainly to pressure West Russia as hard as I can, as early as I can, because if I can pressure it as much as I can here, it might kick Russia off of West Russia. And if UK fails to blip Caucasus, Russia can't stack shift into Caucasus safely because the odds that the Germans will have on Caucasus will be very strong with this buy. Very strong. This is a technical build order. So, I see no point in taking any risks. So I'm just going to all in 0-7. And I'm pretty sure that's it, right? The Russian buy for the West Russia Dam, I think, is the best. 8 infantry. There is another one, 4 tanks, which I've not seen anyone do yet, but apparently that's an option. And the 4 tanks is to try dead zone Ukraine with Russia, with everything Russia has to try and dead zone it. Yep, that will be the combat. It's just C zone 7 here. Want to maximize our odds. Yeah, and hopefully we get an average result. Right. Yeah, this guy, yep, alright. Okay, not expecting that. Okay. Alright, I think that is average for sending everything to Season 7, so I'll definitely take that. Gonna push one guy forward. So I need 10 infantry, everything I can send. Artillery, all the tanks that can reach, which should be 6. And then I can get away with leaving 2 fighters here. There are some variants I run into where West Russia jams and buys a fighter. If Russia buys a fighter, you need at least 3 German planes here. But since there's no German fighter, Russia fighter buy, I can get away with leaving 2, and it's still roughly an 80%. So very safe. I will infantry AA gun and 1 infantry forward. Since my units are at a premium, I'm not going to full stack Karelia. Though I could probably get away with just throwing everything forward. Want this plane here. So yeah, I have... Where is it? Yeah, so I've got 2 planes here. That's correct. Yeah, that's good. And then I have 5 attackers on 7. So if UK gets a poor result in Season 7 and also buys a fleet, I could actually go out my way to take a risk on the fleet. Because I've bought more planes, so... From the way I see it, the value of my... I value my planes as Germany quite high. But since I did a massive air purchase, I can get away with hitting it. And Germany would still have a pretty good odds to actually dead zone the sea zones the turn after. Because what, that's -5, and I still have 6 German fighters that could then fly to northwest the next turn, or Finland and dead zone it the turn after. So there's no, I don't think there's any attrition play that UK could try to wipe out my air force. I don't think it's, I think that gives Germany too much value. I'm gonna do 2 guys here and 1 here. I don't know, it's interesting. Maybe maybe UK sends a bomber so Russia can clear, and then Russia can take safely and then take Caucasus and fall back. Even if they do that, I do have a counter. A huge air force. So I'm not actually sure how as the Allies you counter this tactic. Every time I've used it this season so far, Allies have no idea what to do. I switched to submerged subs just in case UK accidentally sacks their destroyer off too early, and then my subs will flee, giving me an extra attacker in the Atlantic. And it might get to the point where Atlantic is so dead zoned, UK 4 will struggle to get a fleet going if Allies KGF. I will say one thing, I've not tested this against a KJF, only a KGF. So against KJF, it might work against this, I'm not too sure. I will have 1 infantry from Northwestern and 1 infantry from Berlin to trade France if UK sacks to take it. And if need be, if I want to guarantee a trade back, I can send 1 tank back. I don't think it compromises Germany too much to do that. Right, 46 IPC for the Germans, very nice. And yeah, once it comes to Japan's turn, I will go over Japan's job and role in this play. It will definitely change if Allies see Zone 37. I have yet to see how my tactic changed against the Zone 37. Successful Zone 37. Because the Japanese planes are actually required quite a bit for my G2, J2 Caucasus stack. I need all the Japanese planes in range and available because Japan has a pretty important job to zone off both Kazakh and Russia from reinforcing a dead zone on Caucasus. So we'll see what happens with that. Right, that is the end of Germany round 1, and I'll be back with Japan round 1. Alright, Japan round 1. UK with a free fighter purchase into India. Took out the transport in 5. Got a very good result in 7. Clearing the cruiser 2 subs, no units lost. Attacked Libya. Failing, retreating with a fighter, losing an infantry. Interesting battle there. And killed the destroyer transport in 61, losing a cruiser. Sent the remaining fighter to Szechuan. Yeah, interesting buy. I've not encountered it whilst doing this build before. So I'm interesting to see, it will be interesting to see if Allies go KJF here. Because, yeah, that's... UK can carry a drop and get 4 planes in. They will have a transport and they will threaten DEI. I'm not killing this, so this transport could then move to 39 with the cruiser. And they could go for a UK2 timing on DEI. if UK flies that bomber to... We'll see about that. I would think that bomber would head towards India if they were going for more of a KJF timing. Because it might be possible for the UK to dead zone 61. Or get it to a dicey battle where the UK just suicides into the Japanese fleet. Then US comes in for cleanup. We'll see about that. The risk of buying mass air is a KJF because you don't have much German pressure pushing forward. By a whole round, it's delayed. But what I do to compensate that is stack Ukraine and really threaten to stack Caucasus or West Russia. I don't know what Russia's doing. I assume they are going to give up West Russia. Since UK sent their planes to Archangel, that tells me Russia is going to go for a Karelia take. And UK taking Norway also tells me that it might be a KJF game. Maybe. I can trade that back and kill that transport and wipe out the UK fleet. So UK will have nothing here. It might actually be KJF. I'm not sure. But I'm not going to freak out. I'm just going to buy what I normally do. Infantry tank and 3 transports. And the idea is hard India pressure. It's either that or I get 2 more infantry instead of the tank. Well, yeah, I mean, allies stacked Szechuan. It's pretty normal. What I like to do if I stack Szechuan, I like to bring the tank down and make sure all my air is in Kwangtung. I like to threaten to attack Kazakh when I can. And yeah, against the jam, I like to use the Japanese air to either air raid Kazakh or Moscow directly, and then land in Caucasus J2, right? The Japanese air I like to use to I like to sacrifice some of the air to remove the Russian odds to start to deny the Caucasus stack, because then Germany's got the Caucasus stack from G2, and then Atlantic is for the most part completely clear because I have 11 aircraft. So if it was a KGF, Germany would be in Caucasus already, and Atlantic would be cleared until roughly UK 3, UK 4. And then I'd just sit in that position, because I'm unlikely to get Moscow with Germany, because Russia either ignores what I'm doing, or they hit it, and then the game changes from that point. And I like to just buy mass infantry for the rest of the game, if it is KGF, so I'm not actually sure what it is yet. Could be KJF here. Well, if I'm putting that tank down here, I might actually just skip the tank and get the 2 extra infantry instead. Yeah, I mean, I could do Pearl, but I want all my air in Kwangtung, as previously stated. So this might actually invite a KJF, which would be an interesting game because I've not played this German build order against a KJF. So we shall see how this plays out. Yeah, I will try and threaten India, because UK did stack Egypt. So I want to take this. I think I commit all three here. Yeah, no kill like over. Oh yeah, I mean if he gets 2 hitbacks, that's pretty devastating. That would make the KGF even more juicier because then US could go 2 infantry and a fighter against it. Pretty big cripple, especially if Russia then takes Bury. Yeah, these dice are very important early in the game. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I commit 2 guys instead, just for the. I hate losing so hard in on-way. It's so painful. But if he has 1 hit back and then Russia misses, 3 infantry and a fighter is a pretty hard commitment for Russia against 3 infantry, especially with Germany threatening Caucasus stack G2. I'm actually going to sack my AA gun on Germany. I do think he's trying to conquer it, so he's not, I don't think he's trying to strafe it. Even though I do dead zone it pretty hard. Yeah, okay. Alright, well, I mean, I think the average result here is 1 hit back, so I will go with that. And I won't, yeah, I just don't like going 2, because then it's just an easy take for Russia. I really don't like that. Alright, let's go with this. Alright, good luck to the Japanese here. Alright, beautiful stuff. The bombards did their job. Alright, beautiful. It's always a very nice win if you can take Burma round 1. Oh, beautiful. I think the hits were a little inverted there. I think it was supposed to be the other way around. Okay. So Russia has a good option to go for Bury now, but Anway's safe. So I'm happy with that. I don't know, maybe the sub tips it over the edge. Oh, wow, 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 wow. I mean, UK has the option to do a double carrier drop if they really wanted to. Wait, no. 1, 2. No, they don't. But they could still do that. They have 5 fighters available. You can... yeah, you can get away with that if you intend to stack West Russia for an extra round with Russia. And you send the UK planes to West Russia instead. I don't know, we'll see. Carrier, destroyer, maybe even carrier battleship. A rare battleship buy for the UK. Alright, very, very good round for Japan there. Yeah, only lost 1 dude. This is a very strong Japan start. So yeah, even if Allies KJF, I have a pretty large amount of Japanese units on the Chinese mainland here, I'd be able to actually maintain my income for a good amount of time. But yeah, I'm not scared of the KJF. If allies want to go for it because I've bought the free transport buy, that's completely fine with me. If allies go KGF, then Japan will just explode. Like they normally do. In income. Right, that's the end of Japan round 1, and I'll be back with Germany round 2. Right, welcome back to Germany round 2. US with a carrier, 2 transports, 3 infantry, and 1 artillery. All on the eastern coast. 1 infantry to western, which is interesting. Don't think that was needed. And skipping the yeah, it took Morocco for free. Skipping the extra, skipping the destroyer in the standard US buy. I would not recommend if Germany is investing in air, especially if Germany's investing so heavily from round 1. You're gonna need to build up a navy. If you plan to KGF, you need to build up a navy that can force its way through to at least get a dicey battle for Germany to take, right? Like, maybe a 50-50, slightly IPC negative. I might not consider that. I mean, I suppose, I don't know if Germany would consider that. I guess Germany could take the risk on the fleet and buy more air for a next round attack, or test the waters and just see what a round 1 gets you, and then depending on if you get an above average result, go again, right? If it goes bad, retreat, and then just save the rest of the air that you've got. Yeah, so it looks like a KGF game. Definitely sent a plane to Western to go to India. Sent a plane to Egypt to defend Egypt. And is trying to position on the battleship. But yeah, if I go for this fighter, or I go for Gibraltar with this battleship, US has odds to clear my battleship, so I'm just going to ignore it. I'm going to use this transport for its intended use with this build order. It's just to transport these 2 guys to Caucasus. Since I couldn't afford to build anything in Italy besides 1 guy, this is what I use the battleship for in the transport. It's to transport these guys across, and then usually the battleship dies after. So that I'm fine with that, because I've already given up on Africa income by pulling the infantry tank from Africa. So I've already showed my full intent to just give up Africa straight away. So the battleship's only useful to me by transporting 2 ground from Africa, and then 2 guys from Bulgaria and Romania the turn after. And then the battleship usually dies after that. 7 infantry, 1 artillery for the Russians. All into Moscow. And very, very unfortunately, got completely destroyed by the dice in Caucasus. Losing 2 infantry, 1 fighter, 1 artillery. Killing 1 infantry. That's a pretty damning result. Because I can stack this now far easier. I don't really require any Japanese planes. So yeah. Normally my timing is to stack on G2 anyway with Germany. But I mean, I even get the ability to put my planes there if I really wanted. Deploy to support with my own German planes if I really wanted to. But yeah, that's a really damning result. Allies are very far behind because of that result. That's very unforgiving. But the Allies are fine to continue playing. So I don't normally go for this buy on Germany too with this build order. I normally buy mass infantry. But because Caucasus failed so hard, and UK is actually just offering me a free transport, and then I can kill the US transport as well, I'm going to buy 7 ground, 4 for Caucasus, 2 for Karelia, and 1 for Germany, and 2 more bombers. Because if I just kill all the allied transports, I don't need men to retake territory in Europe. Yeah, so that will be the buy. Yeah, and since US has skipped on the extra, the standard destroyer on USA 1 buy, Allies are not going to have much fleet defense, as they normally would. Okay, so I say that, but I'm actually going to ignore 7. I just want to hit this with the fighter bomber. Send the fighter to clear this. And then these 2 planes will be used to retake Norway. Then I'm going to send infantry artillery, try and take West Russia. And then 3 infantry and 6 fighters. Because, yeah, since Russia did not attack Karelia, and Russia did not place an AA gun there, this would have been a very good spot for a Russian AA gun, or maybe even both. Yeah, because even 2 Russian AA guns turn the battle from an overwhelming 99% IPC positive to a 71% IPC negative battle. He shoots at all 6 of my planes with both AA guns there. I don't even know if it's worth risking the planes. I don't think I'd go for it. But since my planes can attack with no worry, really, I'm going to kill these UK planes. Because if I can kill these UK planes, then J3 India is even more promising. I think with Japan, I'm going to actually double down on India. I don't normally do that. But since UK did a free fighter buy, I don't think that's mainly the reason. I think the main reason for doubling down on India is the fact that Japan gets a very, very easy wipe of Kazakh on their turn with the tank and all their aircraft. And since Germany has the chance to wipe out these 2 extra UK planes, I think Japanese odds are actually going to be really, really good for J3. And I could probably delay it to J4 just to increase my odds, because UK can't run since I'm already stacking Caucasus. Alright, I'll definitely take that. Wow. This is really tough. The Axis are having zero problems with their combats. I mean, this is a really good result for Germany, even if I failed it. Yeah, I mean, Germany had like zero problems with combats, and that's overwhelming profit for the Axis. This is very, very punishing for the Allies here. Actually, I could actually stack Algeria. That plane. I'll have to think about that. So yeah, 10 infantry, 11 tanks, and the extra infantry artillery. Plus 4 more dudes. Russia only has a 50-50. Well, actually, it's only a 42%. Assuming Japan clears this. And this is without Japanese planes, so Japan just needs to add 1 plane for 75%. Ooh. I think Russia can take back Karelia. I think so. Do I move my planes into Finland, though? This bomber? $23 is not really relevant. What's that? Four Russian tanks and 1 fighter. I don't see that. I don't see it. That's 5 ground, 4 planes. Yeah, it's not happening. This guy will come here. I'm actually going to do this because I have 1 spare infantry. I'm actually going to deploy into Italy here. Yeah, I don't even think I need to move the guy forward. Yeah. This is interesting. This is an interesting stack. But he does have 4. It's just the 4v4. The US. 5v4, in fact. Alright, bail that. This bomber, I guess, could also land here. I'm gonna move all these guys into Libya here, because if UK attacks this, their odds on India defense is just that's potentially 3 less ground defending India, so I'll definitely take that. UK can go for that. So I have to deploy my bombers here, which is fine. 1, 2, yeah, I have to. That's fine. It does not hinder me putting the bombers there. Yeah, this start is so ridiculous. Yeah, G2 stack of Caucasus. Japan can send a couple air over, and allies are completely zoned out of the Atlantic. I think the buy. I don't know. Unless I'm missing something, this buy is so ridiculously strong. Even if allies get average dice, I normally stack Caucasus G2 J2 anyway, and I still have 11 air, despite my standard Germany 2 by being all infantry. I still have 11 air, and I can delay allies even getting a decent presence into the Atlantic until UK 3, USA 3, sometimes UK 4. But Germany now has 10 fighters and 3 bombers. It's just ridiculous. And it might be possible to buy for Moscow timing. I don't know. I'll check next round. But I might be able to buy for Moscow, buying even more planes. This is ridiculous. Okay. That's the end of Germany round 2, and I'll be back with Japan round 2. Alright, welcome back to Japan round 2. UK bought 3 more fighters. All into India. Attacked Libya, killing 2 infantry, 1 artillery, losing an infantry. I'm happy with that result, because that's 3 less defenders going towards India here. UK sent some plane reinforcements to Moscow. And sent their fleet to 13. Now, I did make a note here, because I actually made a mistake. I should have sent 3 of these planes in Finland here instead, so I could dead zone 13 better than I am trying to. Instead of 1 fighter, 3 bombers, I would have 4 fighters, 3 bombers. So 7 versus 2, 4, and 6. So yeah. And if US sent all transports, it would be worth me risking my aircraft, because I have so much of it in reserve still. I would have 4 here and 2 here, because yeah, 2 were forced to land in Finland because they hit Archangel. I think. Yeah. That was a minor mistake by me. I think allies can get away with going there now, so it hurts more because I don't have any way to properly stack Italy without planes involved if US send all their units here. So we'll see. The great thing is that I have pretty good odds to wipe out that UK bomber in Egypt. The battleship can pick up these 2 guys. I've got 2 bombers in range, and the battleship bombard, and the potential to retake Egypt for a turn, which will be pretty nice. Okay, so with the Japanese here, 2 infantry, 1 artillery, and 2 bombers. I am going to go for India timing, because I think I can threaten India, and since UK did not block Persia, Germany actually has the option to soften India for Japan if allies try their best to hold it. I don't mind if I have to give up Caucasus. I don't think. I'll obviously try not to. I have so much aircraft, I don't think I can lose Caucasus. But it might be worth sending 11 tanks just to soften it for me. US will have to block with a fighter. Or a bomber. If they don't want these tanks coming down. Because Japan will wipe out this target. Because I like to kill these 2 US units so US doesn't participate in the center of the map at all, besides 1 or 2 fighters for the entire game, right? Yes, this will be the buy. Yep. Take all the free money here. And yeah, blitz. And wipe out those units. Japan only has to send one fighter, but I could send more. I'll decide where the best position my planes are for after combat. And yeah, alright. Alright, I'll definitely take that. Okay. And yeah, everything's just gonna go into Burma here. This submarine will move to 59. I guess just full stack Caucasus here. Like, what else am I gonna do? No plane reaches Burma. So, I mean, if I guess UK could roll the dice, what? 6 infantry, 3 fighters against 11 infantry and 4 artillery. I don't think that's gonna work. I guess, like, I have no other position for my planes. This is fine. The shock. Like, let's say for whatever reason I can't take India. 2 transports would come back to 62, and then 2 transports would go off to take Western. Or even Africa at this point. What is the doctrine? Keep AA. Fine. Right. And yeah, like, even if UK gets like a 50-50, I can delay for a further round, potentially. Because of what Germany can do. I think US has to put a plane there. I'll take a look on Germany's turn. But I think UK can send more plane reinforcements. And I don't want that, so it might actually be worth sending German tanks down to soften it. And with the Japanese planes in range in Caucasus and my German planes in my buy, I don't think Russia is ever going to prime me off Caucasus. I should have way too many units. So be it if it gives Atlantic back to the Allies, but yeah, I think it's just worth it. Rush the UK here, and then Japan could just do a fast expansion into Africa, maybe, or something like that. Maybe even Egypt. I see. I'm so early. I think UK has to buy a destroyer. They're definitely on their turn. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a pretty significant AP lead. Right, that is the end of Japan round 2, and I'll be back for Germany round 3. Right, welcome back to Germany round 3 here. 3 transports, 1 artillery and 5 infantry. All the US here. All on the eastern coast. Took Algeria for free and then attacked my sub in 59. But my sub did submerge. Okay, yep. US is stacking 13. Yeah, I did mess up my German fighter positioning. I should have put more planes here. Then I would have had a 9v... It would have been a 7v6, actually. For free transports, I could have taken a stab at, maybe. Maybe, I'm not sure. I don't have to. I could just keep my German Air Force intact. But since I have so many German planes, I could expend some in a battle. Russia with 6 infantry and no combat. All the units into Moscow. And retreated 3 guys to Vologda. And actually did block Persia, which is a very good move. It's actually cheaper as well, sacrificing a Russian tank instead of a US plane. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. Otherwise, I'd just chuck these 11 German tanks at India just to soften it. Okay, well, with the Germans here, I'm just going to back by max infantry. 14 infantry and 1 artillery. I did check my odds on Moscow. Only got a 10%, so I'm not in any rush to really get odds here. I've got a very favourable position as Germany, so I'm just going to stay in this this forward aggressive position right in Russia's face and just strangle Russia for their income. And I'll stay here for as long as I can until Japan gets a stack, Kazakh, or Japan comes through India. That's the plan. Now, I've taken a look at India. Japan, assuming I've not miscalculated here, has 13 infantry, 4 artillery, with 6 fighters and 3 bombers, 26 attackers versus... Assuming UK buys a destroyer and 2 fighters, and sends these 5 fighters, Japan has a 92%, 56.9 IPC positive. So that is a battle that Japan will be taking because of the odds and how profitable they are for me. I think it's in UK's best interest to flee with their planes and not sack all the UK planes here. Yeah, just retreat. It's not an ideal retreat, but you don't have any choice because of how aggressive my Axis positioning is on the center of the board. It's very deadly. So yeah, I think it's best UK just to abandon and save these 3 planes. It's unfortunate about the US one. Right, well, yep, that will be the buy. Okay, so of course take Archangel for free. I'm going to blitz Kazakh. I'm going to try and take Persia here. I'm going to go and attack Egypt to kill that bomber. And yeah, I think that's all the combat. I would like to leave a bomber in Finland. Yeah, I think that's all the combat, right? Germany's going to be stacking Italy this turn. Stacking Caucasus. Yeah, that should be it, right? Let's have a look. Italy. We need at least 5 fighters spare for Italy. I could commit 1 plane. Just for the trade. Yeah, alright. That'll do. Yep. Don't think I'm missing anything here. Alright, so I get to take out this bomber, which is very juicy. And I get Egypt as well. The German battleship 100% dies this round. US has 3 fighters and 1 bomber on it. That's fine. I get to kill the UK bomber. Alright, so yeah, Italy's defense, if US want to attack, they have 3 infantry, 1 tank, 2 artillery, 2 fighters, cruiser bombard, with a bomber that can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a 93% to hold, so there's no trouble there if I deploy 3 units, 3 infantry. I want the bomber there. And I want the rest of my planes in Germany. I'm trying to dead zone 8, or at least pin all allies into zone 8. US could go to 6. So... 4. Yeah, I have... Yeah, I've got 9 fighters, 3 bombers, and 2 infantry. I don't mind sending an extra guy here. Or 2, even. I'll do 1 more. Okay, I think I'm actually going to... I'm going to let Russia have an easy attack on West Russia here. Only because UK could actually air raid Archangel. And Russia could then attack and try and take Karelia afterwards. I'd rather not deal with that. With my low infantry count at the moment. So yeah, it'd be 4 dudes and an AA gun against potentially 4 attackers. I don't think that's worth all the Russian material just to try and flip Karelia here, when I can just retake it next turn anyway. Alright, yeah, really good position for Germany here. Artillery, 3 infantry to the Caucasus, 2 infantry to Karelia, 3 infantry to Italy, and the rest into Berlin. And with the huge air force, France should be dead zone. I don't think US can stack it. And there's no UK transport, so UK can't take France instead of US. So yeah. I've not calculated if I could dead zone it, but I do have... Yeah, I do have 11 planes on it. So if allies can get a 50-50, like... chance to hold, I might not even bother hitting it and just save my German Air Force. Blocked and blocked. I can take back Norway if US attacks a transport for it. Good stuff. 50 IPC for Germany, very nice. Right. Yeah, quite a significant AP lead, and I think I'm just gonna grab hold of the income and wait for Japan to take India and slowly build up a stack for Moscow. I don't have to go out of my way to take a risk anywhere. I could try VC in the future once I have India. So Germany needs much more infantry than this to even attempt to stack the territories for a VC attempt. Right, that's the end of Germany round 3, and I'll be back with Japan round 3. Alright, so welcome back to Japan round 3. UK with a destroyer transport and 2 fighters. Destroyer to 35. Transport to 7 and then 2 fighters for UK. Took back Persia, no units lost, and then took back Egypt, losing an infantry. And then retreated a mini stack into Persia and left 3 guys in India. And yeah, since I didn't dead zone 7. Oh. US doesn't reinforce that, I might try my luck on the transport. But yeah, I've only got 2 bombers on 7, so I do think US will support that. US might take France. And Northwestern, maybe? I don't know if they can. I do have 11 planes on this. Alright, well, Japan's turn's pretty simple here. I'm going to get 4 infantry, 1 artillery, another transport, and industry, or Manchuria or Kwangtung here. And yeah. Right, disengage the sub. I'm going to take Venki and Novo for free here. I think the plan was to bring 2 artilleries, 2 infantry, and go after Western. Battleship, carrier, fighter, cruiser, and then I will send the battleship destroyer back up to 62. With the sub, with with these 2 transports, and I can transport 4 guys off. And then I've bought 5 since I'm including the AA gun, and then that's 3 transports for 6 ground to go to China next turn. And then yeah, just take India here. Yes, cruiser carrier here. I'll send 2 planes. And then yeah, the rest of the planes here. I could air raid this, but I don't see the need to risk my planes here. I'm just going to send these guys in. And then these 2 bombers will then fly across to Karelia. And that looks pretty good for Japan here. Yeah, Germany still has to take Persia, I think. Just to stop UK suiciding to take back India. I don't think it's worth Allies doing it, but maybe there's a play there. I'm not sure. I could just send 2. I might just send 1 plane at the AA gun and 4 ground. Maybe even a tank. Yep, alright. Right, very nice. No problem there. Right, good stuff. Yeah. It's, 15 so dead zoned. Yeah, the battleship should definitely die here. US has two fighters, 3 fighters and a bomber, so I do expect that to die. Yep, and then these guys can come over to 29, take French Madagascar, and probably New Zealand, the cruiser carrier. Might be enough. So if that's the case, I might actually move this sub to 52 instead. Just so I can send this sub down. I have no destroyer, so I would have a sub cruiser carrier to defend themselves against the lone sub. 1, 2. Yeah, even if US builds a bomber, it can't reach because I'm going to be taking both landing zones here. And yep, looks pretty good to me. Wang or Manchuria? I tempt to do Kwang and just churn out some tanks. Not a bad idea. Six ground, or six infantry, and then 2 tanks. Every round to Szechuan. Pretty nice. Yeah, I like Kwangtung here. Yeah, this position's very, very strong for Axis. If allies have nothing, no France stack established or in process of establishing, or a threat in Finland with a stack, and the allies have lost India, it's GG most of the time. Like, this position is very strong for Axis. It's going to be very difficult for me to lose this. You know, allies won't necessarily lose Moscow, but I can play a drawn-out eco game, and I would win most likely. Japan would get Moscow before allies get Berlin, assuming I play this correctly. So, yeah, and even Japan, like, has got India and can already start pressuring Africa, and that's less units for the US to stack Norway or France, right? Yeah, there's not really much the allies can do here. This is yeah, it's a bit of an Axis wet dream, and it's mostly because of Russia's really horrendous result in Caucasus. Yeah, but this build, I know for a fact, this German air build is pretty strong in KGFs. I have no experience as of yet with KGFs, so maybe if Allies KGF'd, it would have gone differently. Obviously, UK would never, or at least for 7 rounds, ever get a fleet up in 7. That's enough time for Germany to get timing on Moscow. So I'm not too sure. And Germany would have so many planes. Germany could actually lend their planes and send them towards China. So I have no idea. No idea. Yeah, very disgusting AP lead. Right, that is the end of Japan round 3, and I'll be back with Germany round 4. Alright, welcome back to Germany round 4 here. US with a submarine, double tank, destroyer, transport, infantry, artillery. Sub destroyer to 56. 2 tanks to western. Transport to 11 and an infantry artillery to eastern. Killed my battleship, losing the bomber. And moved their fleet into 7 with their transports. So Allies are going for pressure play on Karelia here. Okay. 5 infantry for Russia here, all into Moscow. Took Novo, losing an infantry. Attacked Archangel, losing 3 infantry. Wow. That's very unfortunate there. Bit of a German juggernaut there. Of course, I'll definitely take that, but that's quite punishing for Russia. And then took West Russia, no units lost. Okay, well, Japan can have a good time clearing these 2 units. They have so much air in range and free ground. Okay, US sent an extra transport to 23. Not sure that was necessary. They have Africa now. Okay, so in this position, Axis are in a very good spot to try win the game via VC victory. I will go for it and threaten it, but if it comes to the point where it's too much pressure on Germany, I'm going to give up on it. I'm already very far ahead, so I'm not going to overexert myself and give the Allies like 50-50 yellows, for example, to get back into the game. So I will threaten the VC. I don't know if Germany can pull it off. It does depend on what UK does on their turn. With the Germans, just 16 ground. I'm going to save the 2, I think. 47, 49, 51 on a good day. 51 on a good day is enough for 17 ground next turn. Though I probably won't need that much money. That's fine. I can buy. Do I buy tanks now? I buy tanks now. There's no way Germany keeps Caucasus this round. Just buy max ground, it's fine. I might get a couple tanks next turn. Just for some stacking defense if I try and go for a VC. I'm going to try and threaten it round 5. US has built a defense here. So I will try threaten it, but if US builds a fleet, they might be able to defend it, but then US's power against Germany is not ideal. Yes, 16 ground here. Alright, so the plan is I'm going to send 2 guys. What does West Rush look like? I'm going to send these guys at Persia. I don't want to send too much. I just want enough units to kill the ground. Oh, I do want to kill that though. It's pretty important. The UK wouldn't have any fodder to hit. Alright, I'll do that. Yeah, if I send that extra tank, 91% to win that battle. Every other unit will move into West Russia here. I'm going to take Vologda for free, and that's pretty much the extent of the attacks done by the Germans. Now, West Russia is a bit dicey. Yeah, since I'm going for a VC play, and since Japan now owns India, Germany doesn't need to stay in Caucasus anymore, because I want Japan to start trading these 2 territories as soon as possible. And me giving up Caucasus allows me to defend Karelia with little to no problem, which means that I can send pretty much all my air to defend Berlin and France, hopefully. Just thinking. I plan on stacking Northwestern this turn, but maybe if I'm going for VC, I should pick France. But I want to stack Northwestern just so I have all my planes on 3 and 8 and 7. Well, that's not true. For 8 and 3 mostly. So allies would have to sack to take France if they think a VC a snipe is happening. I think. It would kind of ruin this transport. No, I don't think there's any way allies can stack both here. They would have to sack transports for one or the other. Yeah, the idea behind Persia is just to kill these ground units so UK has no fodder for hitting Caucasus on an air raid. UK has... I'm going to leave 3 guys here, I think. 3 or 2. I'd have to look into that. I'd have to look into that, actually. Hang on. I'll leave 2 out of it for now. Watch, we'll send these guys in then. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's fine. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's... No kill like overkill. I'll leave 2 behind because I might end up just deploying 1 dude in Caucasus and leave the other 2 guys here just to stay. Alright, here we are. Good luck to the Germans. AA on keep, okay. Yeah, I mean, if I was going for a Caucasus play, that would have been a pretty dangerous strafe, I think. But I think I will conquer here. Go for a conquer, I mean. And then maybe these German tanks can... Oh, I just say that, but... damn it. Yeah, I forgot UK had a tank there. I guess UK could actually hit this with the tank 8 fighters. Yeah, that sucks. So be it, I think. Oh, that's... yeah. Did not see that. Yeah, I mean, as UK, I would hit that 100%. I wouldn't even risk Caucasus. I don't know. Maybe Caucasus is the better target because the Japanese planes allow easier stacking of the VCs in the future. I say that, but West Russia does need every man available here, so... Yeah, so I'm stacking Northwestern with everything I have, pretty much. Except 2 German fighters. I need to swap to keep AA here. Alright, so yeah, I kind of missed that, to be honest. It's a bit sloppy from me. We'll see if UK goes for that. I definitely would. The tank to absorb a hit back, and it's like maybe I get 2 hitbacks. Maybe 2 hitbacks are likely, but I think that's fine if UK loses 1 plane. I'd be happy with that exchange. Yeah, it's a pretty... I should not have done that. Maybe I don't know, maybe a strafe would have been better. Maybe a strafe would have been better. Oh well. Okay, so if we're looking at, yeah, Caucasus, I don't really need that. What? So, Karelia. UK has infantry tank with 8 planes. Cruiser. US has 4 infantry, 2 artilleries, fighter, 2 bombards. 20v20, assuming I leave... Let's really put that. Assumes I've deployed 2. There's actually a 20v19, so an 88%, assuming I send the Japanese planes across. But yeah, I mean, if that's fine, that's fine. It's fine. UK can't hit this and also get a good attack on this. I say good, but it's very IPC negative to 1-2 Karelia here. Alright, Northwestern. 19 units versus 27 attackers. That's 4 UK. 4 infantry, an artillery tank, 2 fighters, and 2 cruiser bombards. And then should be 11 infantry. Yeah. 3 artilleries, 2 bombards, and a fight. Yeah, it's a 92%. And that's without Japanese planes, so that's fine. It's attacking negative, but on the US's turn it turns to positive, but it's still an overall minus 20 IPC profit. 92% to hold. Berlin is very safe. It's overstacked. And that's just with ground. There's no planes there. And then West Russia, 15 infantry, 3 artilleries, 9 tanks. And assuming I send these 2 fighters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, yeah. It's a 63%. But this is compensating for the fact that I might not have these Japanese planes. UK has a 62%, minus 20 IPC profit. So it's not a battle that is really attractive for the UK to hit. I wouldn't. But I don't know, maybe if you look a couple turns ahead, they might be pretty vital for the VC win. I don't think it's worth UK. I don't think it's ever a good exchange for UK to trade possibly, what, 6 fighters? Yeah, the average is UK has 2 fighters left. So 6 fighters to get at 4 Japanese. I would happily take that. Which means that 3 guys have to go here. Means I have 13 left. I have to deploy 2 here, so I have 10 and 1. Which means I have 18 infantry, 2 AA guns to try and stack France, and 4 Japanese planes next round. Yes, that's 24 defenders there. I don't know if it'd be enough. Maybe it will be because the US Shuck is not the best for a KGF. Because the US are investing into 56 here. And 2 tanks for Western, so... Yeah, US doesn't even have enough transports for the Shuck. Assuming these two and these two go here, and these two, that's enough for 3 transports, but US only has 2 available. And technically, yeah, US would technically need 4 in next round, which they can't afford if these guys are landing in Norway and Finland next round. Yeah, I do think that's a minor mistake from me, giving UK a nice attack on the German tanks and artillery there. But I think the Axis are in such an advantageous position. It's not gonna. It does suck, but in the overall grand scheme of things, I don't think it's that bad. Yeah, I do regret Persia a little bit, but it's fine. I do need Japanese planes here. That's pretty important. Yeah, Japan will go for Hawaii pressure here. And I might be willing to buy a fleet to get an extra 2 planes in the combat, maybe like a carrier fighter or double fighter. Just to dead zone it. Really dead zone it. I'm thinking of pushing these 3 boats into 59. I'm not sweating too much 2 subs and destroyer against the battleship destroyer sub. I don't think that's too much of a worry. Yeah, I'd have no destroyer then if I did that though. You could buy more subs and dead zone. I don't know, maybe there's a play going on here. But Japan could just fully invest in Navy just to get Hawaii here. I don't think there's much Allies can do. Alright. That is the end of Germany round 4, and I'll be back with Japan round 4. Alright, welcome back to Japan round 4 here. Carrier, fighter, and transport for the UK. Took France for free, took Norway for free, and in fact did attack Persia. Killing 2 tanks, 1 artillery, losing a tank, so a very good result for UK there. That was my mistake, leaving that. Did not realise that the UK had a tank there. I guess I got too tunnel visioned. But, oh well. UK did not take the territory, so I'll take that. I'll most likely remain German for the rest of the game. So that's guaranteed German income. Okay, so it look I don't know. I think Allies are sacking this transport here. I don't know. Maybe Allies can try and stack both. We'll see what they get away with. I just don't know. I have 13 attackers on both territories. UK currently has 4, 6, 9 to my 13, so ideally US sends the battleship at the very least. If they do that, then that's 2 carriers. US only has 1, 2 fighters, so 2 fighters, 2 carriers, 2 destroyers, and a cruiser. So that's 7 defenders, which is just not adequate enough at all. So I'm guessing they're sacking this transport. That's why UK bought another one. But UK can't currently support it properly just yet. I mean, this is very good for allies, not allies, Axis here. Let's see. Okay, anyway. So with Japan here. I'm going to go for Hawaii here, so I'm going to buy 5 ground for both ICs. Then buy a carrier fighter for 60. And I'm going to try and dead zone 56. Now, I have calculated that if US does a full fleet drop with a transport, they can drop a carrier battleship and a transport. And if I go for this buy, I will have a destroyer battleship sub, 2 fighters plus 1 more that I'm buying in range of 56, and I actually have a 60% to clear the target. I'm going to make it so I have 2 transports. In range. 1 in 45 or 40. It will have to be 40. Yeah, 40. And I'm going to send... Yes, I'm sending... No, I'm sending 3 transports in range. Yeah, I'm overkilling it. I want enough men to take the territory. So even if US has odds on my fleet, they struggle to actually take the island afterwards, right? Yeah, I think that's the plan. Yeah, let's have a look. I mean, if I move... Plan is to move the destroyer battleship sub to 59 with 1 transport. 1 transport to 51, which is completely safe and cannot be blocked to get to 53. Yeah, it can't be blocked. They can still reach 53. Then 1 in 40, which can be blocked if US send a destroyer down, but then I still have 2 transports in range. Because US could block this one, but still it's the same effect. I still have 2 transports in range. Let's see if... I'm pretty sure 2 subs and destroyer. It's battleship, destroyer, sub. Yeah, US has an 11% to clear. 59. Yeah, that's fine with me. I'm very happy with that. Alright, this will be the buy. I guess these planes might as well hit that target. Where should these bombers go? I guess they could stay in Karelia. I intend on holding it. Right, I'm going to take Western. Artillery. And then infantry artillery to take Madagascar. It's a safe take. There's nothing threatening it. Yeah, cruiser carrier to 40. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fighters can land on the carrier. These guys will move to 48. Then I guess I'm moving this guy here, so no territory is free for Russia. And I'm just going to move this stack forward to Persia. Yeah, very good stuff here. Yeah, and then Japan will pick up this guy with this artillery. Alright. I want to switch to subs don't submerge. Yep. One, two, three. Yeah, that doesn't work. All right. Good luck to the Japanese. All right, very good result there. No units lost. Nope. These guys over here. 2 planes. Guys here. And that is it. This is a 90% hold, so there's no worry there. And this is great, because then I might actually have the chance to actually VC win next round. With the assistance of the Japanese planes. There's a chance. And yeah, since Germany's in West Russia, like, it's very easy to hold Karelia. There's literally no sweat. To the point where it might be worth Germany just landing all their fighters in Germany to dead zone 8. So even if Allies clear France, I can wipe out their fleet afterwards and restack France the turn after. There is a chance. Yeah, very good stuff from the Axis here. All right. This is definitely a Japanese wet dream here. Yeah, this is very tough for Allies to come back. It's going to be very tough to deny the VC attempt from Axis here. Alright, that is the end of Japan round 4, and I'll be back with Germany round 5. Alright, welcome back to Germany round 5 here. 5 infantry, 3 transports, and a tank for the US. 3 transports to 11. Tank, 3 infantry to Western. 2 infantry to Eastern. Okay. For this stuff, the reinforcements here are unnecessary because I physically cannot attack Western because US did block 57. But I suppose it's fine because US only had 1 transport available for 1. Okay, yeah, I mean, yeah, so US did block 57, but I still have all my transports on Hawaii, and this is fully dead zoned. So Japan is pretty much guaranteed to get Hawaii this turn. For the round 5 VC win for Axis. Russia with 5 infantry into Moscow. Took Archangel, no units lost. Lost a dude in Vologda, and then killed 2, losing 1 in Novo. Giving a small stack in Novo here. supposed to stop any aerial air raids here. Air raids of Nova with the 2 infantry and 7 aircraft, maybe. And it does dead zone Japan moving forward into Xinjiang. Yeah, I don't think it's going to play a part in this game anymore, because I am going to go for a VC win with 12 infantry, 1 artillery, and 2 tanks. Could get 2 extra infantry, but I don't really care about deploying Caucasus anymore. Russia left Caucasus blue, which is usually the correct move when Japan starts trading it. But considering how strong Germany is, it just benefits Germany. So I'm not saying it was a bad thing to ignore it. I don't think it matters on the grand scheme of things in this game anymore, because the round should be over. The game should be over this round. So Germany can stack France with, assuming UK gets a hit back, 23 ground, and Allies have a combined attack force of 24. Then Japan has an additional 7 aircraft in range of France. Allies have a 0% chance to take France. Same goes for Berlin. 24 attackers, but there are 31 defenders. No chance of taking Germany. And I did actually calculate Karelia. I wasn't going to bother, but actually Allies have a lot of aircraft in range. But still, it does not matter. Considering Allies have 32 attackers to my 42 defenders, they have a 0% chance. So, according to the calculations, there's literally nothing the Allies can do. Unless they get results in the millionth percentile, like bottom millionth percentile for Axis or whatever. I don't know the precise calculations, but apparently there's no chance the Allies can stop the VC win. And yeah, what Russia's doing here is irrelevant. The only thing that Russia could have done to get involved in the denial of a VC play is if they took the 10% on West Russia, which I intentionally set up, so it's really unattractive for Russia. And if Russia hit it, then it wouldn't be vital for Germany to play the VC, because Russia can't recover after such a devastating and deadly battle for them. I'll just play for Moscow instead and just slowly get a Japanese stack and go for a Moscow take with Japan instead. So I'm really forcing the Allies to just take like the worst odds. There wasn't really much Allies could have done. Just stop what I'm doing here. I'm gonna attack this. Yep. No kill like overkill. I could air raid this unit, but it doesn't affect the odds at all. My units are just far superior at defending anyway, so there's no point risking an aircraft. Maybe Germany has odds on Moscow, I doubt it, but there's literally no point in risking here if I can just win the game via VC instead. Don't usually see that. It's nice to see in a while that my planes can perform. I mean, I'm pretty much just sending everything here. It literally does not matter. I'm going to move the AA gun back and the 3 dudes. UK, like, the only option giving allies is if they take a 0% chance on France, and then UK takes a 32% to clear the Japanese fighters so that they can't help and reinforce France. So US has a 0.001% chance to take France on their turn. I will stay on keep. And yeah, I'm just going to send all my planes into Berlin. On the, like, very, very rare chance that allies do somehow pry France from me, Germany might have odds to dead zone the fleet and actually kill it. With the 1-2 from Germany and Japan right after. Yeah, alright. That is that. Double tank artillery with the rest infantry in those spots. Leave Caucasus for free, because if Russia trades it, then Japan can just trade it back. But it doesn't matter, the game's over. Though actually, I suppose Russia in that scenario could just stack it. Back me off. It's fine. Germany could then restack Archangel or West Russia. Doesn't matter. I will stay on keep here. Alright. Yeah, that should be the end of the game. I'm just going to go take in Hawaii, and that's it. US can't do anything. It doesn't matter where the UK hits. All these Japanese planes are going to go to their needed spot. And make it impossible. Further impossible. The bombers would die first to maximize my odds of not losing the game. Yeah. That is the end of Germany round 5, and I'll be back with Japan round 5. Alright, welcome back to Japan round 5. 3 infantry, 3 artillery, and a bomber for the UK, all into UK of course. Attacked France, killing 5 infantry, losing 3 infantry, 1 artillery, tank, and 3 fighters. And attacked West Russia, losing 8 fighters, killing an AA gun, 3 infantry, and 3 fighters. So yeah, that is below average result for UK. The average was UK has 2 fighters left, so very unfortunate. But the result is mostly irrelevant. Because, yeah, US has 0 odds on all these targets. Well, I mean, US has better odds on France, but I'm going to shove all these planes here. Yep. Pretty much it. I'm guessing UK, I guess that's expected. Maybe not, that's probably below average because of the cruisers. Yeah. Alright, well with Japan here, I'm just gonna buy I'm gonna buy as if the game continues, but don't think there's much the allies can do here. 5 infantry, 1 artillery, 1 tank, bomber, industry. And Japan just has to take Hawaii here to end the game. I'm gonna send sub 2 fighters here. And that's it. No point me risking my air force. I'm just going to send everything to France. This guy, I think I'm just going to take the transport and return to 35. Leave one dude here. Doesn't really matter. And yeah, the game continues if Japan somehow fails this this attack. No units lost. No units lost. That artillery back. Yep, nice and safe. Yeah, I think US has a 0.2%. Yeah, 99.8% to hold. Average is I have 11 infantry left. Industry for Manchuria. And yeah, that is a pretty confirmed GG there. And yeah, I'll be back with the end result. Alright, that is the end of this game here. Axis victory. Won by forfeit. Or VC. US with 4 infantry, 2 fighters and a tank. Like all into Western. Not really, doesn't really matter. Yeah, obviously hit France. Yeah, attacked Trans, killing 2 for 1. Took Finland and then attacked France, killing 3 infantry, 2 AA guns, losing 2 fighters, 9 infantry and 3 artilleries. And yeah, that is the end of the game. Won by Axis VC win. Alright, so yeah, GG and well played to Cobra here. Was a fun game. Pleasure playing. So I think yeah, this is a pretty good game for the Black Air strategy against the West Russia Jam. I do think it's a pretty strong counter. It's a very technical and precise move set from the Axis. There's a very precise short game plan for the Axis, which is to gain control of the center of the board whilst dead zoning the Atlantic in a KGF. That Caucasus round 2 with both Germany and the Japanese air. And it's up to the Allies whether they roll the dice on Caucasus or not. Now, I think the major mistake here was UK 1 not attempting to flip Caucasus. I understand that I've pulled the tank infantry from Caucasus to make the trade difficult, but it is at utmost importance for the Allied survival in this game. Russia has to restack Caucasus. stack shift into Caucasus from West Russia to Caucasus to deny the Axis play stacking Caucasus round 2. It's so devastating if Axis can achieve that, even if Russia just ignores and doesn't go for the 50-50, roughly 50-50 odds. Last time I calculated it on Caucasus. Yeah, like UK not trying to trade for Russia. I mean, you should try and trade with them as much as you can. And like it doesn't really compromise UK much using the UK fighter from Egypt and 35. And if you're worried, you can use the bomber to trade it as well. And you can still do 61 with the cruiser carrier. Obviously not the best, but you have to compromise when the Axis are so dead set on this the center of the board player, this is where I'm talking about here. Because there's alternatives where Japan can rush Kazakh instead. I prefer the India route. Because if Germany stacks Caucasus round 2, India's already isolated. And it's just a sitting duck waiting for Japan to reap the rewards, right? Because like with Germany here, even if J3 odds are not good for Japan, I can delay to J4, maybe even J5, because allies are just sitting duck in India, right? Yes. But unfortunately for allies here, Russia did try trade Caucasus and got completely diced, which it just turned the game into such a dominating position for Axis. Yeah, the allies were at my mercy because of that result. It's actually it's not even like a massive battle, but it doesn't take a massive battle sometimes to essentially decide the game. No offense, of course, because my position is so strong. I can play a long eco game and I win. I will most likely win because of how long I can deny allies the Atlantic with this buy. It's very strong. It's very strong. I'm not sure what counters it at the moment. I've not encountered someone who understand. I mean, especially have to understand the buy because it is a technical play style, I suppose. You have to understand the strategy to counter it. Yeah, very interesting. I do enjoy my games when Germany starts with 11 aircraft from round 1. Yeah, it's always fun. The great thing about it is that you're throwing all your German material forward because you've been left with extra units because of the West Russia jam, and you're using that advantage to push yourself forward and then buying the planes, dead zones, the Atlantic. So even if I can't stack this properly, Atlantic would still be dead zoned, and I can still play like Germany and West Russia, for example, and still play an eco game that way. Japan can go through Kazakh. Like, it opens up so many avenues of attack for the Axis early on. It's a short-term plan. Like the first 1 to 3 rounds is the goal for Axis in this strategy. But if Axis achieve it, they can prolong the game, avoid taking any risks, and just play for a VC like I did in this game. Let's see, any other notes. I think if US was more focused on trying to set it, I mean, it's easier said than done, but if allies combined into 3 somehow and allies could start building a small stack, then maybe there's a play, maybe there was a chance that Germany just could not handle it all. I'm not too sure. Yeah, it was round one. Allies sacked the transport for free to take Norway, and then sent the destroyer transport, which led to a very interesting opportunity for Germany to buy more planes, 2 more bombers to further pin Allied fleets together, make it really awkward for on the approach. If Allies had preserved their transports, I probably would not have been able to buy. Well, I'd have to get rid of the other bomber because I'd have to buy ground to threaten a retrade at the very least. So I don't think it was because of how much air Germany has. Sacking transports and small destroyers, like smaller fleets, doesn't really work because I have a surplus air force. You need to preserve your navy when Germany has such a massive air force. Allies are not in the position to like split their fleets and try and pick at the German air force, because me investing so heavily into air force like this, the German air is not as valuable. It loses its value because I have more of a surplus, so I can hit fleets more often and clear transports more often, and I can further buy replacements. So I think US skipped on a transport round one, which against even a standard German buy you don't really want to do. Like for example, the 7 infantry, 2 artillery, and 1 bomber purchase. You rarely want to skip that. Anyway. There are rare cases like a German tank rush where Germany's only got 5 fighters. Then you can do that. It's safe to skip the destroyer. I think Russia could have stacked West Russia for a further turn if Allies play differently. That's normally it's a better play than giving both up on the same turn. Ideally, Russia wants to either stay in West Russia till round 2, or they stack Caucasus round 2 instead. Normally, UK sends their fighters over. Because if UK can send their fighters over, then it allows for KGF plays like the UK2 fleet drop, which I was concerned about on J1. But since the fighters were in Archangel, yeah, and again, yeah, that's another point. Like, I soft stacked Karelia with 3 infantry, 1 AA gun. Russia was in West Russia, and they did not trade Karelia. I think that's a little too defensive from Russia, because it just gave such a juicy attack on Archangel. And I think both AA guns should have been moved here at least. At least make the battle dicey for me. Even send the Russian tanks here. Like, get more use out of your tanks because of the movement. Leave tanks in Archangel just to make at least the battle 50-50. I'm not going to consider hitting it against 2 AA guns with my air like that. That target was way too juicy not to hit. Yeah, I did hit that round 2 and killed 2 fighters and 3 infantry. Was a very nice profit for Germany there, which really detrimented the India odds even more. Yeah, I think that's it. But ultimately, it was the failed Caucasus trade that really shafted the Allies. It came to the point where I hardly needed any Japanese air to even stack it. And then, as we could see, Germany had so many units that Allies could not even break not break any victory city. And I gave UK the battle on West Russia as their best option to attempt to take France, but Allies had 0 chances on France anyway. So I think it's a good lesson when you are ahead to minimize risk. And this is what I did in this game. Yeah, alright, well, that is the end of this game here. GG and well played to Cobra. maybe in the future we will have a rematch with a swap sides, or I do a different strategy against the West Russia Jam. I'm not an expert against the West Russia Jam, but I know this pretty strong counter. So, right. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your time, and I'll catch you in the next one.